Three, two, one. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the movie Hangout. Big updates, big news about Disney are here. But first, before I get to that, if you want to click the subscribe button, comment, like, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so let's jump into it. So in this video right now, there's a great forum that I found from other YouTubers called wdwmagic.com. Basically, it's a forum talking about everything on the inside about Disney. Everything that ABC and other news networks are not going to touch at all because they're basically getting paid by Disney. So there's a contributor here who, I don't know who this person is. This could be Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm's assistant. It could be Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney's assistant. It could be them. I have no idea. But some of the information on this forum, blog, site has been extremely crazily accurate. So I'm going to go through here. This is from this week about what's going on in the inside of Disney, and it covers topics like problems with Disney and the Chinese Communist Party, as well as the release of the movie Mulan because of the whole pandemic, drama with that, more drama, yes, more drama with Lucasfilm, as if there couldn't possibly be any more than there already is. Rat infestation at Disneyland. It's a real thing. We're talking not mice, rats. And then also tens of thousands of temperature checks will be done per day to Disneyland guests. We're going to be going over the estimation of how many they're going to be doing a day. It is absolutely insane. I just hope they're going to be cleaning these thermometers. That I think I'll have a greater chance of getting sick from one of those things than the coronavirus. So we're going to go through that right now. So let's go from the very top. Tuesday is the big day for the Disney company in which they will feature what is likely to be their worst earnings report. Going into that earnings report, here's some things to keep an eye on. Number one, several people have reached out to me to let me know that major discussions are taking place, including such key figures as, and now I'm going to mess up these names because they're not like Bob Smith, like they're a little different. Xenia Mucha and Alan Horn about possibly moving Milan's theatrical release out another year. That's a big deal because look, they've already put in a lot of money in the marketing, so they're gonna have to redo all that again because people have a really short attention span and a short memory now. We are inundated on an hourly basis with tons of advertising. So you end up forgetting stuff. You have to forget, otherwise you'd be like going insane. So they're going to be pushing this further out, and the reason why is the lead actress, I forget her name, the one that plays Mulan in the live action adaptation to the cartoon, which if you haven't seen the cartoon, I would suggest it. I just watched it the other day. It's actually pretty good. The actress that plays the character in the real life, live action adaptation is a devout communist. And she is on record, tweeting and in interviews saying like she praises Chinese communism, which has killed I don't know, maybe 100 million people. So there's a real problem with that because she won't be quiet about it. And people in the West and America, as well as parts of Europe, they don't want to support a person that is a communist or a devout communist. So Disney right now doesn't know what to do because the coronavirus, all this new information has come out that it really did originate over in China. And then you have, the Chinese Communist Party, which has been, they've had their hand in the Disney Corporation for some time right now, plus the lead actress. So they've already poured in a couple $100 million into the production and post-production of the movie Milan, as well as the advertising. And they're freaking out and they're afraid that they're not going to even make back half of what they put into it, which quite possibly could be the case. Because without them realizing it, it's going to be kind of like an agenda movie, unfortunately. So if you're not going to go see that movie, which I probably won't, go on Disney Plus, or if you could find a DVD VHS of Mulan, the animated movie from the 90s, I would definitely check it out because it's pretty good. Okay, number two, the ongoing battle over Lucasfilm direction continues. When does it not? With Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau factions fighting over the studio. So let me translate that. It's basically crazy agenda people, Kathleen Kennedy, versus people that actually understand and love Star Wars, which is Jon Favreau. And if you want to see somebody who loves Star Wars, watch The Mandalorian because that's Jon Favreau's baby. It is fantastic. Everything about it is amazing. It's fairly well known at this point that the beef between Kennedy and Iger is real, given that Iger essentially ignored her and his memoirs. That's a big burn. It's also hard to lose sight of how many projects Kennedy has seen fail at Lucasfilm. There's a lot. I forgot even how many of them there are. Star Wars Resistance, Star Wars Forces of Destiny, Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, Solo, that was not good, and the entire sequel trilogy failing in revenues with each release. That's true. Every single one of them made less money, which is insane. That means that they're losing the old audience and they're not getting the new audience, which is the worst thing you can do. What you want to do is with a movie, especially a franchise, you want to build your audience. So you have this one group of people, and then like let's say people like 30 to 40, and then you want to get their kids into it. So then you build higher. So then you get like the kids, then you get people in the teens and 20s, but they're not doing that. Buried in the lead of Waititi directing a new Star Wars film, which Kennedy has no creative control over, was confirmation of the female-centric, I talked about in another video, Star Wars series being helmed by former Weinstein, that's Harvey Weinstein, personal assistant Headland. And she is insane. If you want to go on her Twitter and check out what she writes, I mean, it is loony. But be ready because it looks almost certain that a new narrative is being pushed by Kennedy loyalists in Lucasfilm. And that narrative is that Headland was only a personal assistant for 1 year. Yeah, okay. And that being against her on her series is misogynistic, mean, and unfair. Oh boy. That's the trilogy right there. Misogynistic, mean, and unfair. Again, this is a conflict that Disney doesn't want. They don't want conflict over a hire that lavishly praised Weinstein, deleted hundreds of tweets at the same time as a leak about her project, and may no dirt on Iger and Eisner. With all that said, Kennedy has essentially gotten her way time after time, outplaying Iger, even if she has been hammered by segments of the fans, mostly by hiring and developing strong loyalty within her brand. That's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy. She does not promote diversity of ideas at all. If you do not toe her ideological line, you are done. You know, I don't know. She does background checks on people. I'm sure she does. But she only hires people that have this like teeny tiny like little view of the world. And most people don't look at the world that way. That's why they're doing horribly. All right. So thirdly, now we're getting to the Disney parks and resorts, which it ain't going well at all. Okay, so Disney is still looking at an August reopening for Magic Kingdom and the Magic Kingdom resorts. There's some important data sets that are being monitored. First, Disney is watching early states with populous areas to see if there's a spike in cases of the COVID-19. States that are being closely monitored include Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Colorado, and Texas. Second, there's an important statistic that Disney is actively researching chance of transmission for mask to mask. Currently, the number Disney has is 1.5%, and I mean that's gonna be changing. Obviously, that is with a standard mask. That's currently too high to reopen the park safely. At that rate, you have 1/67 chance of contracting the virus when in close proximity to others. And a theme park features far more than 67 close interactions in a single day. I mean, just think about standing in line. You're not 6 feet away from the person in line for any ride. If they had 6 feet in between every person in a line, the line would go like 4 miles. Like it would be insane. So that right there, I don't know what they're going to do. And then also, it gets really, really hot in Florida. It's hot in California, but it's really hot in Orlando. And a lot of the lines are actually inside, like they have an inside enclosure. where there's like different things you can interact with, and it's all the AC is like blasting in your face. Otherwise, you'll like pass out. So I don't know what they're gonna do with that because most of the people aren't gonna be able to fit in there. They're going to be standing outside in the sun. Nobody's gonna want to do that, especially if you got kids, man. If you have kids that are like under 12 years old, you do not want to be standing in the sun all day with them because they're gonna get sick. They're gonna whine and complain, and it's just gonna be miserable. All right, so it goes even further. Even if social distancing and 50% capacity is active, if one person is contagious, then you have a super spread situation at Magic Kingdom. Another serious issue to reopening the parks prior to August is that children present a logistical problem to keeping masks on in an efficient manner. Yeah, if it's hot out, you don't want to be breathing like your own. I mean, think about it. When it's like 90 degrees or more, are you gonna like walk around like this and be breathing hot, like carbon air coming out of your lungs? No. What are you gonna do if the temperature is 98 degrees? It's even higher than that in Florida when I was there. And you can't let people in many of the outdoor areas. So just know that while the target might be August, there's a real chance that this goes longer. Gosh, I hope not. Disneyland is essentially closed for the remainder of 2020. It's horrible. Maybe it can reopen in November or December, but all the information I'm getting from contacts and friends says that that's just not the case. Again, things can change with COVID-19 and the information we have on it. It will require a major attention before it will be at an acceptable level of care for reopening to guests. All attractions at Disneyland Resort are powered down completely and are not receiving any maintenance. Pathways inside Disneyland Resort are not being cleaned very often and are rather unsightly in places with bird droppings. Now, like that might sound ridiculous, but it really isn't. I mean, just think about all of the thousands and thousands of birds per week that are just walking around, flying on the Disney property. And then you take that by multiply the number of crap basically coming out of them by months. I mean, it's just going to be like mounds of white stuff all over the place. I mean, it's going to be, and they got to clean that. They got to disinfect it. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting. And then having nobody there doesn't keep animals away, because when people congregate in an area, it keeps wildlife away. You know, rodents, chipmunks, rats, birds. But when nobody's around, then they all kind of come in, and then plus insects, cockroaches, you name it, they're going to be there. It says there's actually a serious rat issue, and I don't mean Mickey, not joking. All food items have been removed at Disneyland Resort from everywhere to combat the issue, and the radically few cast members still working at Disneyland Resort have to bring their food and dispose of it according to protocol. It says one of the concepts being mulled to get Disney parks bringing in revenue again is to bring back the non-expiration tickets. I think it's a smart idea. I mean, why would you do that to people? If somebody's paying the money, they should be able to go whenever they want, you know? If you enjoyed stacking 10-day park hoppers with extras before and then adding the non-expiration option to them, you might be doing it again once the parks reopen. And then the last thing real quick is temperature checks, them taking your temperature. Temperature checks at Disney Kingdom and Magic Kingdom resorts are going to be time consuming. They're working on planning for 40,000 to 70,000 temperature checks per day. When they first reopen, when you consider all the security checkpoints and you will now include a medical screening, I mean, that's just nuts. And then first of all, what's crazy about that too is most people are carriers of the COVID-19. You don't have a temperature. So if like 65 to 70% of people don't have a temperature, then what's the point, really? And if you're like have like a fever and you're like bedridden, you're not going to be going to the Magic Kingdom. So they're going to be testing people that aren't actually going to have any of the, any symptoms. So really what this is it's not about actually preventing sick people from getting into the Magic Kingdom. It's so Disney can go to their investors, to their stockholders, and just be able to show them that they're trying to do something. And it's a way of kind of like calming down people's nerves, especially people that have kids, so that they'll come back to the resort. But it's not actually going to really do anything. So anyways, really, really interesting stuff. If you want to check out more of this, go to wdwmagic.com. Really cool. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on this. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, if you want to get future rants, reviews, original content, click subscribe. Thanks for watching.